Ever been in a situation, maybe, like a work meeting, and you're nodding along, smiling, looking super engaged, but inside you're just thinking, I have absolutely no clue what's going on, or I'd honestly rather be sorting my laundry. We all do it sometimes, right? Put on a bit of a performance. But what about when that performance creeps into, well, our most private, intimate moments? What happens then? That's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Welcome to the Sex Science Podcast, where we turn the latest peer-reviewed research on intimacy and sexuality into fun, accessible conversations. Generated by AI and fact-checked by experts, the Sex Science Podcast was created by LaShaw to empower you through knowledge. So, join us as we explore pleasure, relationships, human connection, and everything in between.
Today, we're tackling something often seen mostly as a female thing, faking orgasms.
Right, that common misconception.
Exactly. But we're going to challenge that head on. We've got some fascinating new research, a big European study from Pavan and colleagues. It covers 6 countries: Denmark, Finland, France, Norway, Sweden, and the UK. And what's really interesting is it looks at who fakes, sure, but also digs into why people actually stop faking.
Which is pretty unique.
Yeah, and how it all connects to, overall satisfaction. So our mission today is to really unpack the surprises in this data and see what it might mean for you.
And this study is genuinely significant. It's one of the few with a really large male sample, which broadens the picture immensely.
Right.
And like you said, focusing on stopping faking, that's not something you see studied often, but it's so important. We're talking, over 11,500 people surveyed?
Yeah, huge data set. Okay, so let's dive in. What did this massive study actually find? Who's faking, who isn't? The results might surprise you.
Go on.
Well, over half, 51% of everyone, men and women, said they never faked.
Wow, okay, so a majority are authentic.
But here's the really interesting part. Almost 3 in 10, about 28%, used to fake but have stopped.
So there's a journey there for many.
And then about 13%, so roughly 1 in 10, currently fake. And this just confirms it, right? Men fake too. I mean, in this study, it was about 8.5% of men currently faking compared to maybe 18% of women. So fewer men, yes, but still very much a reality.
Absolutely. It's not just a female experience, not at all. And what's fascinating is how culture seems to shape this.
Well, yeah. How so?
Well, France, for instance, had a higher proportion of people faking.
Interesting.
Whereas the Nordic countries, Denmark, Finland, Norway, they generally had lower rates.
Any idea why?
It could be linked to perhaps more open attitudes towards sex there, maybe better sex education.
So societal norms playing a role in something very private.
It really looks that way. How we talk about sex as a society seems to filter down into these intimate moments.
That is fascinating.
Okay.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit to the kind of the positive side of this, the stopping part, the move towards authenticity.
Yes.
What did this study find makes people stop faking? What helps them feel okay being, real?
They found some really key reasons, mostly pointing towards growth, both personal and in the relationship.
Like what?
The number one reason, actually, for almost 28% overall, was becoming more comfortable with not having an orgasm every time.
Ah, okay, less pressure.
Exactly. That was particularly strong in Finland, interestingly. Another big one, around 27%, was better sexual communication with their partner.
Makes sense. Talking about it helps.
Definitely. That popped up more in Norway and the UK. And then about a quarter stopped because their partners started paying more attention to what they actually wanted.
So feeling heard.
Precisely. That was noticeable in France, Norway, and the UK again. And there were some gender differences too. Men were a bit more likely to stop, maybe because they felt more confident, or sometimes because they got caught, believe it or not, or just weren't sexually active anymore.
Right.
Women, on the other hand, were more likely to stop because, like that top reason, they just became more comfortable with their own experience, orgasm or not.
So beyond why people stop, did the study look at who tends to fake more often?
Yeah.
Any patterns there?
Yes, it did. And some connections were, maybe not what you'd expect.
Tell me more.
Okay, so generally, women were more likely to report faking than men, which aligns with other research. Also, individuals with a homosexual orientation, those reporting more lifetime partners, and interestingly, people with children.
Children, huh? Any thoughts on why?
This study doesn't speculate deeply, but maybe time pressures, stress, changing dynamics, it's hard to say for sure.
And who was less likely to fake?
Older individuals, people in longer relationships, and those who generally have orgasms more frequently, they were less likely to report faking.
Okay, that seems intuitive.
Yeah.
But you mentioned unexpected connections.
Yes. The link to sex toy use really stood out.
How so?
Well, people who had faked in the past or who currently fake were actually more likely to own sex toys.
Okay.
And here's the nuance. Those who currently fake, they were much more likely to use those toys alone. About 74% of them did.
Compared to
only about half, 50% of those who said they never faked.
Interesting. So what about using toys with a partner?
That flipped. People who never faked or those who used to fake but stopped, they were more likely to use toys with their partner. About 65% for never fakers versus 53% for current fakers.
So it suggests maybe different motivations for using toys, right? Solo use when partnered sex isn't fulfilling versus shared exploration.
That seems to be what the data suggests, yeah. A different role for toys depending on their faking history.
Okay, this is all fascinating context, but here's the big question, maybe the most important one for overall well-being. How does faking actually affect satisfaction? Not just in bed, but like in life.
And that's a crucial link the study made. It pretty clearly connects current faking to lower satisfaction.
Lower sexual satisfaction, I assume.
Yes, that too. But significantly, also lower relationship satisfaction and even lower overall life satisfaction.
And life satisfaction too.
Yes. Compared to those who had stopped faking, those currently faking reported being less satisfied across the board. It really highlights how authenticity or, the lack of it in this really core intimate part of life can ripple outwards.
It really underscores how important open communication and maybe self-acceptance are in our sexual lives. It feels like it's about being true to yourself and with your partner and how that can just lead to greater fulfillment everywhere else.
Absolutely. That genuine connection, first with ourselves, then with the partner, seems to have this profound impact. So maybe something for you, the listener, to think about is this. If embracing authenticity in these intimate moments truly can affect your overall sense of self and happiness, what one small shift might that knowledge inspire in your approach? Towards honesty, towards maybe greater fulfillment, what step could you take?
Thank you for listening to the Sex Science Podcast brought to you by LaShaw. We hope that you learned something new about the wonderful world of human intimacy and sexuality, and join us next time as we dive into more fascinating research. And remember, science is for you. Music for this podcast was produced by SOUNDRAW.